YouTube, welcome back to the channel. If you've been part of the channel for any length of time, you know that I had built a waste oil burner several years back at this point, and it was just a drip feed, natural draft type setup. I have since torn that apart and came up with this thing. I threw this thing together pretty quick, so it's fairly rough, but it does the job, it works. Salvaged some parts off the old one. As you can see, I still have the original 5-gallon bucket that I used to store the oil. I had to extend it up a little ways. I'm not sure what else I saved. Some of the feet, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, this is now a forced air setup. It's much more efficient, burns cleaner, hotter, all the above. You know, it's a much better setup. So, without further ado, I just wanted to go over a little bit of what it consists of and how I put it together. And like I say, it's rough, don't judge, but it works. First of all, that's simply a storage tank. Ball valve runs down through a piece of 3/8 tubing. On the side here we have the blower itself. This is temporary. This is just a little cardboard flap, believe it or not, held in with a screw, but it pivots to adjust airflow into the heater. This is actually a cap that will come off if needed for whatever reason to change brake rotors or whatever, which you'll see here in a minute. This door, it is nothing fancy. In fact, it's very rough, but it will actually slide both directions just to, get a little peek in there if needed. And it also lifts completely off. So you can see there's just tabs welded on here and there. It is nothing fancy. On the inside, let me see if I can dig my flashlight out of my pocket and get some better lighting in there. On the bottom there, it's just a piece of tubing up into a little stainless steel bowl. I actually had that brake rotor on the bottom, and it does work, but it takes forever for it to get warmed up and burning efficiently. But with this thin little stainless steel bowl in here, that heats up real quick. I still have the brake rotor on the top. And turn this flashlight off a second. Air goes in through here, comes straight in, and then makes a 90 straight down. The fuel feed goes straight into that air tube, so it's running down the middle of the air tube to help keep it cool as it's dripping. You can see it actually goes inside the brake rotor, and these little things, I have 2 of those. All they do is once I get the starting fuel in there, they just kind of slip over like that, opposing each other. That way it helps seal off the top area a little bit. Probably not necessary, but I don't know, I did it anyway. So that's pretty much the basics of it. Like I say, it's nothing fancy. The legs are just welded onto the tank. I think this was an old water heater tank that it was actually cut in half when I got it, so I had to come up with some kind of a lid for it, and that's what I did there. So as far as starting it goes, I've been using a roughly 50-50 mix of gasoline and waste oil. It seems to be working so far. It's kind of hard to get it down into the pot because I haven't devised a way to do it cleanly yet, but what I've been doing is I just slide these things out of the way and drip it right down there, and then it runs down the air tube right into the chamber. Then I'll cover that back up. But let me get you on the tripod here and see if we can get it fired up. All right, let's see what happens here. Grab the oil. Give it a little jiggle to make sure it didn't all settle out or something. It usually doesn't, but I'd rather not try to ignite gasoline in a concealed area. There, that. Give me the torch. Some of it drizzled out over the rotor and down into the tank. but that's okay, it'll all burn up. And I'm going to, you see it smoking out the, I don't know if that's in the video or not, let me make sure that's in frame. It is. Over here, you see how it's smoking out of the blower? To eliminate that, all you gotta do is put this on real quick. Maybe leave it open a little bit, and it stops smoking immediately. It then draws it up and out the chimney. So, that's burning a little bit there. I always let it get a little bit of heat in it before I turn the blower on. Just seems to work better. And I will crack this valve open just a little bit to try to get the oil flowing a little bit, because right now it's 30 degrees in here, so it'll take a while to start flowing. Get you off the tripod and maybe get you a peek in there. You can see the oil that dripped out over the rotor there. As I close that, you can actually hear it pick up even more because it's now sucking air in through the blower down into the pot. So, and I did not put those on, so we're going to see how well it works without them. I imagine it'll work just fine. I just try to, the original theory behind those was see how the fire's coming up out of those holes and around the pipe. My theory was to keep it cooler up here so it didn't coke up the pipe on the inside, the feed tube I should say. But we'll see how it works. I think I actually might have burned it this way last time. It's been a while since I lit it, so. But anyway, that seems to be burning. We're going to close this up. I don't know if you can hear that, but it picked up again. So let me grab the cord here for the blower. We're going to close that off quite a bit. Still burning off the outside of the rotor there. She's burning. Now, the hardest part of this whole setup is getting the drip feed correctly set so that it maintains a steady burn. It's especially difficult when it's cold because it slowly speeds up as it burns. But I don't know if you can see it back there. Let's zoom in. There we go. Learn how to use my own camera. It's maybe 31, sorry. Maybe 31 degrees in here. So, we're going to let this record. I think I'm just going to let it record in real time. I might speed up the playback of it, but yeah, here we go. I'm actually going to top this off because it's not full. Burning pretty good. already registering heat up here. This oven temperature gauge takes a while to register, but it's already showing temp. So she's heating up pretty quick. I can feel the heat off of it already standing here, so it outputs quite a bit of heat. I don't know if you can see it. Turn all the lights off once. I don't think it is quite yet. It's hard to tell sometimes in the daylight when it starts to glow, but I think it might be starting to glow red already. But I don't normally burn it that hot because it's not necessary, but it will do it if you need it. So put you back on the tripod. Actually, while we're waiting for it to warm up and get the flow adjusted, I will take you outside, because during startup is the worst of the smoke, which, as you can see, you can't see. So, I don't know, with the naked eye I can see a little bit. I don't know if it's showing up in the video. I do see a little wee bit, but hardly any. So, this ball valve, you can see all the more I have it cracked open there. If it focuses on it, I think it did. Look at that, we're well over 200 already. Rotor's glowing bright red there at the bottom of it. Alright guys, well that's pretty much the waste oil heater, the new version. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment and subscribe. I'll answer any questions I can, just let them in the comments. See ya.